Da, 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 da. All right. Okay, so we have the Act Two is complete with the reenactments. You have for B30 here. This is meeting 27, I think. And so the reenactment, I had to speed through it a bit because it's a very lengthy scene, but it sets up Act Three. So if we remember our climax at the bottom of the pyramid, you have Act One. So the problem, the seeds are planted to set things in motion. That's Act One. Act Two is the rising action. So once the seeds are planted, then they start to grow and starts telling the story of how things are going to turn out or where it's going to possibly go. Hamlet has to set himself up so that everyone thinks he's crazy, like cuckoo for coconuts, and so he can go ahead and help his father be free from purgatory. So he has to act uncharacteristic of what a prince should act or what's expected of a prince. The Claudius and Gertrude, probably more so Gertrude thinks the reason why he's acting the way he is because the hasty marriage to Claudius, and of course the fact that it was so close to the passing of his father. She'd be right, but when she gets the possibility that it might be something else, so well maybe it must be that. Good. So the king and Polonius have set up a plan to spy on Hamlet. A lot of spying going on in this play, and see for sure whether or not it is about spurned love for Ophelia. So we'll find out about that. So we're going to get into the summary notes here. So share my screen, and aren't you lucky? It's only one slide. Episode 2, Theories and Revenge. Now, that's my title. That's not the title of the act. Okay, all these titles are mine. Copyright. Okay. See. Okay. And so theories and revenge. So they have all these theories, and of course, Hamlet seeks revenge. So we have Act 2, Scene 1. Polonius sends Rinaldo to spy on Laertes, his son, as he doesn't trust him and treats him like a child. Well, he does the same thing to Ophelia as well, but more of a possession. He then questions his daughter, Ophelia, like a criminal, asking about her encounters with Hamlet, because she's supposed to. She said she would, because that was the ultimatum made at the end of Act 1, Scene 3, I believe. And then we have Polonius concludes that Hamlet is mad and goes to tell the king. Okay, well, as if Ophelia wants to have that information shared with everybody else. Well, Polonius doesn't care about that. So we move on to Act 2, Scene 2. The king asks Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, friends of Hamlet, well, schoolmates of Hamlet, to find out what's troubling him. Hamlet is aware of their true purpose for seeing them because he insisted upon it. He already knew that something was suspicious when these two guys show up, and they only hung out maybe a few times at school, and all of a sudden they just pop up out of the blue that they're going to be chummy with them. Hamlet is aware of their true purpose, and so Polonius and Claudius plan to spy on Hamlet to prove for once and for all that Hamlet is mad, or maybe he's faking it. So foreshadowing here. Hamlet secures a group of actors to perform a play about the death of Priam, king of Troy. Hamlet arranges for the actor to insert lines that will test Claudius's reaction to admit his guilt of the deadly deed. If he does that, then the path that he's on is the correct path. But if he doesn't react, then it's all a dream. This is just a nightmare that he wants to forget, and then he'll move on with his life. And sadly, live with the fact that his uncle is married to his mother and all that jazz. So, and his chance of becoming king of Denmark is pretty well slim to none. But he could always go back to school, I guess, if it goes out that way, and do his own thing. Who knows? But the third soliloquy, lines 545 to 603, is, again, he's questioning himself. He's very critical of his handling of things. He regrets his inability to act on revenge right off the bat, because if he did, then when there would be no need for all these games. But he is going to continue playing the games because he wants to be sure that the ghost was real, for one thing. The conversation he had was real. The information he received is real. And the play is going to be the thing where he will catch the conscience of the king. So that will be his affirmation. That's why we did affirmation at the beginning of the semester. What is your belief? What is in what's happening? So that's where we leave ourselves, and Act 2 is complete. You have 2 down, 3 to go. Now, if you have any questions about your tombstone, you should start working on it for now that we've reached Act 3. You will have to, of course, read ahead for the how the characters tragically pass on. Write your epitaph according to the character, their traits, type of personalities they have, what led to their downfall, and your epitaph should reflect that, and what could they have done differently to avoid. So if you look at the way you do your tombstone, think of it as passerbys, people that pass by and they look at the tombstones, they read the inscription or the epitaph, and they learn a lot about who that person was when they were living, and then it's you have a warning of what not to do, so that you don't make those same mistakes and go down the same path, and so on and so forth. So remember your epitaph, it's 3 to 10 lines. Look in the course online booklet for details in that one. And you could do traditional, which is the cross. You could do contemporary, which is headstone, rectangular shape, either long portrait or landscape. And then you have symbolic, and symbolic could be an item that best reflects the character. And I showed you some examples in the PowerPoint presentation on Google Classroom, so check that out. A reminder that these videos are also posted on my YouTube channel, Heskin ELA. So if you do not want to sign into Google Classroom, you can just go to YouTube and punch up the channel and watch the videos there. So aside from that, stay on track with your deadline 4 assignments. And again, if you are having issues, difficulties trying to get your deadline 3 in because of what's been going on with the pandemic and stuff like that, please give me a shout so we can have that dialogue and conversation. As I stated, you do in post-secondary, you're gonna have to speak up for yourself, advocate for yourself. So how are you going to do that to ensure that your needs are being met? Okay, and so it's important to have dialogue with your instructors, and of course with those who can find the necessary resources for you to help you succeed, whether it's language or studying or seeking other guidance with your advisors and stuff like that. So the supplemental learning experience is even though it's not the best circumstances, because obviously we want to be back at the school, and hence that's why I have the background there. We'd rather be there, But this is the reality we have until the end of June now. And so it's time to take back your year and show that you can finish up strong and have that transition into next year go a lot smoother because you've had this experience with supplemental learning. For those of you that have not submitted, please get back in the game and again, let us know what's going on. And if some of your classmates who have opted out previously would like to get back in, just let them know. Have them give me a shout and we'll get you back in the game. Okay, take care and be safe and have a great weekend. We'll talk to you next week. And I'll just stop share and bye for now.